Hello and welcome to the 127th episode of Fur, Fins, and Feathers. We are honored to have Lisa White, the Somerset Swansea dog officer, and Betty Marsden from Somerset, who is a wonderful volunteer at this facility.
Hi.
Hi.
I am very happy to have you back.
And we're happy to be back.
And a new guest.
Yes.
A new one.
And we're honored to have you.
Thank you very much. Honored to be here.
You have a special event coming up this weekend.
We do. This Sunday, 9 to 2, right at the Animal Shelter, 68 Stevens Road. We have our biggest fundraiser of the year, our huge yard sale. We have a gigantic trailer full of stuff to sell. So a lot of good stuff in there, a lot of brand new stuff. We're just, it's a way that we raise some funds for our vet bills. There will be a parking change this year, so please, anyone attending, pay attention to the signs on the road. The highway department and the facilities crew has made us an entrance that goes directly from Stevens Road into the large field where we park. So people will not be pulling into the main parking lot of the annex. If you drive just a little further down the road before you get to the intersection, you will see the entrance into the field. We'll have some guys out there directing traffic. Some of the highway guys will be out there. We'll be putting our signs up on Saturday night or Sunday morning early. So just so I know for years we've always kind of done it one way. So parking has changed. So most importantly, just follow the signs and be very careful. Pulling into the parking lot is, things have changed. So it's going to take everyone a little while to get used to, but it's a much, much better parking design this year. So we're happy about that. And we want to say thank you to our highway department and facilities crew who made that all possible. So it's a real big improvement for sure.
Handicap
and it
parking?
is the biggest fundraiser.
And thank you, Betty.
Handicap
parking will be the only parking that will be in our lot, and it will be the spots marked right in front. We will have 4 or 5 designated handicap spots. Those will be the only people allowed to pull into the annex parking lot. Thank you for reminding me about that. So yeah, there will be handicap parking as well.
Will there be a bake sale?
We are having a bake table. Yep, we're having a bake.
That's my favorite place.
We're going to have our bake table. We'll have a couple of raffles. Mark Johnson will be there with his VW bus Rita, playing some music for us. And obviously, it's a day where, we'll be taking applications on animals. We have lots of cats and dogs available for adoption. So we will take applications that day. I will say that will probably not be the day that we're taking animals out of their cages because it gets really busy and stressful. But certainly allowed to walk through the shelter, take a look at what we have, and if you see something you're interested in, we encourage you to fill out an application, and we will schedule visits, when our yard sale is done on a quieter day. Yard sale is a very busy day, and Betty says, we haven't had a quiet day, but yard sale day is very busy, very, very busy. It's a super busy day. I know it says we're open 9 to 2, but volunteers get there as early as 5 a.m. in the morning. We start cleaning the animals inside, getting everybody where they have to be for the day.
Unloading
the trailer, which is in a feat all of its own.
Setting it all up.
Setting it all up, setting our tables up. So it starts as early as, some of us get there at 5 to take care of the animals. Setup starts 7 a.m. And our day doesn't normally end till like 5 or 6 when we're done cleaning up. So it's a long day.
We go home and collapse.
We go home and collapse. Our feet hurt for like 5 days, but it's all worth it. We raise a lot of money. It is a fun event.
Yes.
We get to,
a lot of camaraderie.
A lot of camaraderie. We get to see some old faces. Leash pets are welcome.
People bring the dogs that they adopted back on a leash to see us.
Bring
Everybody
pictures
likes
of their
pictures
of their adopted cats that they took home.
Yep.
So we see a lot of old friends. We make a lot of new ones. We've had a lot of successful adoptions that have come out of that event. Especially with some harder to place dogs or harder to place cats. That event has been where they have been seen and
getting volunteers in.
We get volunteers that way. Yep. So it's a fun day. It really is. We enjoy connecting with the public on that day. It's a good way to get to meet people, say hi, and again, it is our biggest fundraiser of the year. It really does bring in a lot of donations in money for our vet bills, and we've taken
which are escalating.
They are, yes.
How do you ever manage?
We're lucky.
Donations.
And that's how the animal shelter, as far as all the vet care is funded, it's all through donations. And we've taken on a lot of hard cases this year. We've had a lot of animals just in general that have come in more than normal. We've had a lot more dogs this year. I feel like we've had a ton of cats and kittens, whether it be, surrenders or animals left at our door, strays not claimed.
And they have issues.
And a lot of them have a lot of health issues. Some are behavior issues. It's mostly with the cats. Betty's working with a few cats we have at the shelter right now. 3 little kittens that came in that are not acclimating to people right now. So Betty comes in daily, picks them up, whether they want to be held or not, and she socializes with them. So that's certainly a big help because, nobody wants to adopt a cat that they can't pick up or touch. So Betty works with them.
Are they mostly feral?
Some are just...
Or just simply unsocialized?
Some are just unsocialized.
Right.
You can't predict the behavior of a kitten. You just can't.
No, you can't.
Sometimes they were the most wonderful animal in the world, and sometimes they just look at you and go, and that's it.
Right.
So a lot of these cats, you have to accept what you get when they go into your home. That it might not be the type of kitten you like, but it's the type of kitten that needs a home and just acclimates to the home, and you acclimate to the cat.
And she's right. Sometimes kittens, you don't see the personality right off the bat.
No.
So this lovely kitten that you adopted at 8 weeks might grow up to be a pretty unsocial cat that says, don't pick me up, don't pet me, feed me, So, but we've been very lucky. We do really well with our adoptions. And it's like anything else we tell people, if it doesn't work out, obviously they can always come back to us and we will certainly rehome them. We never turn away anything that was adopted from us. If for any reason it needs to come back, it comes back.
And we've done that. And then we've re-socialized them, and then they've gone out again. Sometimes homes just aren't a good fit. You don't know it until the animal gets there.
Sometimes it takes a little bit of trial and error, but we work at it, and the volunteers work very, very hard. Every single volunteer there has their thing that they do, and everything they do is appreciated. I couldn't get through a day without them, to be honest. They're early in the morning. They're cleaning. They're doing laundry. They're running around. Betty does a lot of vet visits for me. She made a run to Fall River twice for me yesterday.
Got done.
We're doing vet visits, grooming appointments, you name it. It's just busy. Cleaning the yards. There's always something to do. It isn't just, as Betty says, it's not just walking the dogs. It's socializing cats. It's cleaning cats. And the cats get messy. 6 kittens, 6 kittens who are just learning to use the litter box isn't pretty on some days. But
there's no one day off, is there?
No, there is not a day off. There is no such thing as a holiday. There is no such thing as a weekend. There's living animals in the shelter, so 7 days a week, multiple times a day. Whether I'm there, volunteers are there, the weekend animal control officer in and out all day. We don't have Christmas. We don't, Christmas
snowstorms,
morning.
hurricanes.
Snowstorms, hurricanes. Somebody gets there one way or the other. So I say it all the time. I appreciate all the volunteers. They are truly, they're friends. They're like family. They're just
They are
amazing.
your family.
They are my family. They really are.
Yes.
Yeah. We've all, we've all laughed together. We've all cried together over certain things. We get mad at each other. We fight like families, and then we say we're sorry, and we move on.
How does one become a volunteer?
So it's filling out an application, and then once we get the application, it's seeing where we can fit them in the schedule.
And what they want to do.
And what they want to do, you know, depending on where there's an opening. Our mornings are pretty full right now. Our morning crews are pretty much in place and pretty full. And they're all trained volunteers. So those are volunteers who can come in when I'm not there and they can do their work and do what they have to do. New volunteers, I have to work them into my schedule. So they have to come when I am there, or I can arrange for a trained volunteer to be with them and work with them because they're not allowed to be left alone in the building. But we get their applications. We look as soon as we have an opening or a spot, you know, depending on what they want to do. If they only want to do one specific thing, sometimes it takes longer to get them in. But I always encourage people to take those out, you know, fill out the applications, get them in, and we try the best we can to find a spot for you.
Is there an age limit?
Yes, you
18.
have to be over 18.
You have to be
Because
over
it's a
18.
town facility.
Yes. And right now we're in desperate need of people who like to do yard work. Gardening. So yeah, anybody who has that under their belt that they like to do, give me a call immediately and I'll bring you an application to your home.
That's a big issue with yard
You know,
work.
the highway department, they cut our grass and everything, but we've got a lot of gardens and stuff that we try to maintain, and weeds grow like
Trimming
and stuff like that. So, you know, we like to take care of that ourselves. We don't want to throw another job. Our highway department is super busy. I don't want to throw another thing. They come, they cut all the grass, the grounds are huge, and they do a wonderful job at it. But anyone who likes to garden, sure, certainly there's always room for that. Weed pulling in the yard where all the stones are, that's always a lot of fun.
Oh, gosh.
But it's a nice atmosphere. It's a good group of people.
There is no upper age limit.
Nope. Most of our volunteers are seniors.
That's a good
Yep.
thing.
Well.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Yep.
And we have a lot of adoptable pets right now.
A lot.
Talk
Yep.
about adoptable pets.
We've got a bunch of kittens, most of which are not ready. We've got some under medical care right now. They're being treated for really bad eye infections. And we've got a group that we spoke about that Betty's been working with that are not ready for a home just yet. But we have 3 lovely, very friendly kittens that are available, and we have a few adult cats that are available. So while the kittens aren't ready to go just yet, they still have to go through the vetting process and get their shots and get spayed and neutered. We do start taking applications on them, so when they're ready to go, we can move them out. So we certainly have a couple of, Emmy's a really nice cat. We certainly have a lot of nice kittens and cats that we'll take applications on. We always recommend, please do not just stop by the shelter. Again, I am in and out all day. There are not always volunteers in the building. So if you want to come and see what we have, it's always best to send us an email, give us a call to schedule an appointment. Because if I can't be there, I can always make sure a volunteer is available there to meet you, to either, you know, see what we have for cats or kittens.
Who knows what they're doing,
Right,
as opposed
yes.
to me being there all by myself and someone comes to the door and said, I want to look at your cats. Well, no, you can't because I'm not prepped.
Right. So we like to, it's easier and much more fair to all the volunteers and everyone to do everything by appointment, because when they're there, they're normally knee deep in stuff that they're doing. So
What about dogs?
we do have some adoptable dogs right now. A lot of seniors. I have a senior hound mix who's about 11 and a half. He's very, very sweet. Does need to be the only pet, but he loves people. He is on special diet, so he's on prescription dog food and some kidney supplements. He was just in pretty poor condition when he came to us, but he's doing really well now.
How are dogs and cats relinquished?
Normally they're surrendered. We've had a lot of owner surrenders this year on both ends, cats and dogs. People either moving and can't take them.
Aging out.
Aging out, you know, they're going into nursing homes and they don't have family to take their animal. People passing away and there's no family to take them. Strays that we pick up that nobody claims. But surrenders are done, you know, by appointment. We try to get as much information as possible, and then we take them in if we think they are, you know, fit for our facility, and if we think we can place them pretty quickly, then we certainly take them in and do our best to find them homes.
And people come from all over the area to the shelter.
They do. Yeah. We have people who, either lived in the area years ago and have moved out of state, and when they're here, they come and they check in with us and they say hi. One of our adoptees a couple of years ago who took 2 seniors
went to Maine.
Lives in Maine. She was a resident here, and they bought a home in Maine, and she took 2 old senior dogs that nobody wanted. And she's given them a great life. One of them just recently passed away. We spoke on the phone not too long ago. But we've had California residents send us a nice donation who used to be a resident here. So yeah, they're from even our yard sale. We have people who come from, as far as Rhode Island who come in. We get a lot of Rhode Island residents who come to visit. So we get a lot of people who stop in and say hi.
Or give us a check.
Or give us donations, which is, it's wonderful because those monetary donations go directly into a donation account, and they pay all of our vet bills.
Yeah.
And people the cost of veterinarian care is outrageous.
It's high, yeah.
Very high.
It's high, and our bills are high. And again, when you take on a lot of special needs, older animals that require surgery, medication, it's expensive no matter where you go, but if we've taken them on, we do our best to do what we can for them. And if it means, we've got 3 kittens at the shelter right now, and we're all keeping our fingers crossed that 2 of them don't lose 1 or 2 eyes. So, but what else do you do? If you take them in, you try to take care of them. So those monetary donations definitely, they go directly to vet care. That's all. Nothing. A lot of people have asked, you're a municipal shelter. Where do our donations go? Your donations go directly into a donation account, which is set up for the use and the benefit of the animals in our care only. It doesn't provide work to the building. It doesn't provide work to the grounds. It is specifically for the animals in our care. Some dogs we have sent home require training. We will use some of those funds maybe to pay for initial training setups to get them set in their new home. Again, some require, as they're going out, special diets. So that all of our funds, our donation account goes directly to the vet care, and 100% of our yard sale proceeds goes directly into our yard sale, our donation account, and that strictly just funds our vet bills.
Somerset and Swansea.
Somerset and Swansea, yes. Yep, we work with both towns.
And they do not have a facility.
They do not.
In Somerset, no.
No,
Not
they
in
split.
Somerset.
Nope.
No.
We are in agreement with them. Somerset is agreement with Swansea, and everything is split 50-50 down the middle. And I enjoy working for both towns.
And
Both towns are wonderful.
a lot of the volunteers come from Somerset,
Yes.
don't they?
Yep. Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yep.
Right down the
So
road.
the next question
Yes.
is,
What is it?
what about other types of animals?
We occasionally
We don't want
have.
a gorilla in the
No. We've occasionally had.
We had pig.
We did have a pig once.
2 pigs.
I remember the pigs.
Yes. We've had some. We have smaller animals. Unfortunately, the space we have for small animals is literally 1 designated spot, so I can only take in 1 small animal at a time.
Birds.
So we've taken in birds, we've taken in rabbits, guinea pigs. We've had the occasional bearded dragon that we have to place pretty quickly because we don't have the setup with heat lamps and stuff, so we can do it temporarily but not long term.
We had snakes.
We had one, but it wasn't available for adoption. It was a big one that we found and we sent off to a reptile place. It was an 8-foot big one.
Kind of big, huh?
Yeah. And I have one volunteer who's terrified of snakes. She wouldn't step foot even in the parking lot if she knew we had one in the building.
Hamsters, guinea pigs.
We've had we take in small animals. So
Rabbits,
rabbits,
lots of rabbits.
Lots of rabbits. Birds, we've had parakeets, cockatiels. Again, not lots of room to take in those things, but when we have space, we take them. And if we don't have space,
do you work with rescue groups?
we do. We work with someone who's looking to place an animal, we'll go above and beyond to give them a list of places to call. And we also work with groups over the years if we've taken in, if we have too many cats and we need to move them. We do work with other rescue groups we can make transfers to those locations, and usually the volunteers do that transport because...
Betty, there is no set day. When you get up in the morning, you don't have a set agenda for the day, do you?
I go in as I work through my day. So I usually wait until a little later in the morning, when the morning crew that's gone in and done their super duper cleaning and this, that, and the other, and their feeding and all that, then I'll go in at ideally at 10:30 or 11 o'clock.
Do you come in every day?
During the week I do. On the weekends I take it off at this point usually. Unless there's kittens that I'm really working with that I don't want to waste the time, I'll go in and socialize them Saturday or Sunday.
But there is no rest for the weary.
There is no rest. Nope.
No, and then she'll say, can you pick this one up? Can you do this? And I'll be off.
She's my runner.
Yes. So I don't mind doing transports at all.
And they're helpful because that's time consuming.
Yes, it is.
It's an hour here, an hour there, and it's taking away from other things.
That's right.
The transport is always helpful.
That's right. That's the scut work.
Yep.
Except when you're at the vet, you've got to know what you're talking about to the vets because...
Right. Yeah, so it's busy. I feel like this year's been very busy. Normally we have a lull, a quiet time where you say you can take a breath for a minute and there's not so much to do. I don't think we had that this year.
I don't think we did.
That's usually January, February. It starts to quiet down. The holidays are done. We didn't have that this year. I think this is the busiest we've been.
We had kittens coming in late, didn't we?
We had kittens coming in late, and we even the adult cats, we had a lot of adult surrenders this year, a lot of special need adult surrenders, which thankfully we were able to place very
Unfortunately, people cannot afford to pay for vet bills.
Yeah, no. Or they're moving. It's a lot. You never know. But we were really lucky. Everything that's come in, we've been able to place. But it's the busiest we've been with dogs.
Right. We've had like 4 adult cats at a time come in.
Yeah.
And we got them all home.
From one home, yeah. So it gets busy. I feel like we didn't get the quiet time. Even if we didn't have kittens, we've had a constant flow of adult cats at the shelter that thankfully have come and gone pretty quickly. And it's the busiest we've been with dogs.
A long time,
I'd say probably since 2017.
Yeah.
It's the busiest. I don't remember this year and maybe the end of last year and this year. I don't remember a time when it's been this busy. And we're not full kennels, but it's been a constant flow of either strays picked up and not claimed or owner surrenders. So it's been a lot. We haven't had a quiet time. I'd say it was 2017 we were about this busy. And other than that, we've had 1 or 2 dogs come in, and this year it's just been constant.
Why is that, though?
People, I think a lot. I think the economy, everything's expensive. People moving, unfortunately.
People can't.
Seniors passing away.
As a teacher, I talk to students daily.
Right.
And many of them tell me they cannot afford, their families cannot afford to buy groceries.
Right. So, I mean, it gets expensive, and for whatever reason, and it's all the shelters. And I will say, I think we've been doing really well with cat adoptions. I have to say, we've had a steady flow. But the consensus in general, as I talk to different rescues and volunteers at different rescues that we talk to a lot, adoptions are down. They're slow. They're not down, but they're slow. Dogs used to come in and out. Even the older ones, even the seniors, even the special needs used to come in and out a lot quicker, and they're staying with us a lot longer now. And I've talked to a few people who have said that in their rescues in general. Adoptions are not down, but they're very slow.
Takes longer.
Takes longer, yeah.
Do you have a favorite breed?
No, I like them all.
You love your labs.
I'm partial to labs. I really do like labs. I have 2 English Mastiffs that I love.
You do like your Mastiff.
I do love them. I'll have to
Yes,
bring.
you
I'll
do.
have to bring one of the. Well, neither one are behaved, but I do. They're good dogs. I love my Mastiffs. They're usually driving around town in my husband's sidecar on the motorcycle. And I like my Fila. I have a Fila that I adopted from the shelter who's 13 now. So I like the big dogs. And labs are big. I'm a big dog person.
Your favorite, Betty?
Dogs? I love the Cocker Spaniel. I grew up with a Cocker Spaniel.
We just had a Cocker Spaniel person on a few weeks ago with his new book.
Oh.
That's something we don't get a lot of.
We don't get a lot of I fall in love with everyone that walks in the door.
We don't. Yeah.
I think as a dog judge, I see that the shows are way down.
Yeah.
Next week, we have 375 dogs entered in a show.
Wow.
We used to get 1,500.
Wow, that's a big cut.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It is a huge cut.
Oh.
Yep. And I think a lot of it is expense, you know?
It is.
My dogs go through a giant bag of dog food in 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, I'm spending,
$300.
$65 on a
that's cheap.
bag of dog food that they eat, and then medicine. I've got one who's on, my old one's on medicine all the time. So, everything's expensive. So you have to take that into consideration when you adopt too. It's not just the adoption fee you're paying. You have to think about, the vet care that comes along, because if you own an animal, you're going to have vet care. So that's important to think about as well. That it's not just, paying the adoption fee.
You've got to look at the whole picture.
You have to look at the whole picture. Right. And animals, God willing, if they live a long, healthy, a good life, you have animals, anywhere from, 10, 15 years if you're lucky.
20 to a cat, perhaps.
Right, 20 to a cat. But, it's still yearly vet care, food, medication if they need medication. So
flea,
it's just
tick.
Flea and tick, heartworm. It's something to think about when adopting, that it's not just paying that adoption fee. It's the expense that comes with them lifelong.
The adoption fee is
the adoption
small.
fee. The adoption fee is minimal compared to
exactly.
Yeah, right now our adoption fee is which I don't know if we'll be going up, but $175 for the cats and kittens and $250 for the dogs. But that is a fully vetted animal. The cats and kittens, everyone leaves, vaccinated. The cats are tested for feline AIDS and leukemia. The dogs are tested for heartworm and Lyme. They get their series of vaccines. They're spayed or neutered. They're dewormed. They're microchipped. So yeah, in all honesty, the adoption fee is just a little piece of the puzzle.
Well, this has been a very quick half hour. It's been a pleasure
it's always so much
to have you
both
on again.
Thank you.
And Betty, you'll come again, I'm sure.
I will, with my trusty sidekick.
It's been great fun to have both of you again.
Nice being back.
Nice.
And we'll have you again.
Thank you.
For another chapter on Fur, Fins, and Feathers. Thanks, and have a good 4th of July. Stay safe and keep your animals clean and cool.
And home.
And home.
Please don't take